Revenge films.
This incident happened 2 years into my marriage with my wife. One day, while I was chilling at home, my doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting any guests that day, so I went to get the door to see who it was. It was a man I had never seen before. He was standing outside when I opened the door. Hello? Who are you? When I asked him who he was, the man smirked and said, "I'm your wife's man. I'm going to tell this to you straight. I came here to ask you to break up with her." I thought he was in his late 30s, so we were probably around the same age. "My wife? Are you talking about Natalie?" "That's right. Beautiful Natalie." Apparently, he was my wife's secret lover. To summarize what the man told me, he and my wife had been together for about a year now, and my wife loved him more than she loved me, so he asked me to break up with my wife. I then asked the man whether he was having an affair with my wife or not. "Didn't you hear me the first time? How many times do I have to tell you?" "I said yes. That's what I came here to tell you." "Got it. You tell me to break up with her, but I already drove her away." "Huh?" "I found out that my wife was having an affair, so I kicked her out of the house, and who knows where she is now." "Where did she go?" "I have no idea where she is now. I don't know, and I don't care. Well, she didn't seem like she had a place to go to, so I'm assuming she's going to your house." When I said those words, the man fished his phone from his pocket in a panic. That's when the man's phone rang, so he answered the phone call in a hurry. It didn't seem like the person on the other end of the line was my wife, but I could tell by the voice that the call was from a woman. The man apologized again and again to the caller on the other end of the line. He turned pale and changed his facial expressions a lot. Then when the call ended, he faced me and said, "What are you going to do about this? My fiancé found out about my relationship with your wife. Because of that, she broke off our engagement. This is all your fault. My fiancé's demanding me to pay $50,000. This happened because you kicked her out of your house. That's why you should be the one paying the alimony." "Huh? What in the world are you saying? Do you even hear what you're saying? I have nothing to do with the quarrel you have with your fiancé. You're the one at fault here because you cheated on her with a married woman. If it weren't for you kicking your wife out of your house, she wouldn't have gone to my house. You talked about stealing my wife from me. What are you saying? If you're going to steal my wife away from me, then that would mean you'll be living together with her, doesn't it?" "Shut up! Anyway, my fiancé broke off our engagement because of you, so you should be the one to pay the alimony. I'm coming back tomorrow to collect your payment, so you better prepare the money by then, and you better brace yourself." Contrary to his request, I had no intention to pay the alimony, so I didn't prepare a single penny to give to him at all. So I just continued to enjoy my weekends like I always did. Then the next week arrived, and just as he told me, the man came back. This time, instead of ringing the doorbell, the man banged on the door repeatedly and called me. When I opened the door, he rambled that he came here to get the money. He demanded alimony from me. However, I took a deep breath and responded calmly, "I don't owe you any money, and I never said that I would pay alimony for what you've done." "Stop joking around with me! Listen, I lost everything because of you! If you hadn't done such an unnecessary thing, I wouldn't have to pay $50,000 alimony in the first place! I have a great idea. How about you pay twice the amount for not preparing the money on time? That'll be $100,000! The man was being unreasonable, and it was very ridiculous. It was so ridiculous that I found it funny, and I ended up laughing in front of him. "Are you underestimating me?" Then the man probably took offense at my laughter, because the next thing I knew, he was grabbing me by the collar of my shirt. So I decided to educate him on why I didn't need to pay him alimony. He was saying that he was caught cheating by his fiancée because I kicked my wife out of the house. But the reality was that before the man even came to my house, his affair with my wife was already brought to light. It wasn't his fiancée who knew about the affair, but his fiancée's parents. Actually, it was his fiancée's parents who told me about the affair. They were the ones who brought the situation to light. That's why I was able to drive my wife out the door. The man's fiancée was apparently so in love with that bastard that she was the one who proposed to him. However, all her parents heard from the people around her were bad things about the man. Rumors such as he was secretly in a relationship with 2 other women, and another rumor was that he aborted his relationship. Her parents were apparently running a successful business, so they were quite wealthy money-wise. They knew that the man was just after their money. That's why they asked their daughter to annul the engagement. However, since she was so head over heels in love with him, she never listened to a word her parents advised her. So her parents hired a detective agency to investigate the man. Not long after they started the investigation, they caught the man having an affair with my wife. So they secretly contacted me to inform me of what was happening. I received the pieces of evidence from the man's fiancé's parents, so I showed those pictures to my wife and grilled her with questions. My wife couldn't make any excuses this time, so she reluctantly admitted to her mistake. So I asked her to sign the official divorce registration paper, and I kicked her out of the house, along with her belongings. At around the same time, the fiancé's parents were planning to show the pieces of evidence to their daughter in order to make her understand what the reality was. But before they could do that, their daughter and my wife, who I kicked out earlier, happened to bump into each other in front of the man's house. That's why I explained to the man why I had nothing to do with the alimony. Then the man went pale and said, "What? So, who's going to pay my alimony? Are you seriously asking me that question? Are you dumb? You had an affair with a married woman, and you were engaged to your fiancé. Who else is going to pay the alimony but you? Of course, I will also demand alimony from you. There's no way I'm paying you alimony." "What? Wait, everything I said to you was a joke. It was just a prank. I don't know your wife. I've never met her. What's her name anyway? I have no clue." "Do you really think that excuse will work on me? I told you earlier that I have evidence of your affair. By the way, I recorded all our conversations since the moment you stepped in this house." "What?" "I will share all of this evidence with the parents of your fiancé. If we take this to court, you won't stand a chance." When he heard those words, he looked greatly perplexed, and he then collapsed on the floor crying. Since his fiancée came from a wealthy family, he thought that he would be able to play without working if he married her. My wife was a beautiful woman, so he wanted her to be his too, so he told me to break up with her. Of course he would have to pay alimony because he cheated on his fiancée. He knew it was risky telling me, but since he was going to marry his fiancée, who came from a wealthy background, he thought that alimony was not a problem to him. However, as a result of his reckless behavior, his fiancée and I both demanded a huge amount of alimony from him. As a result, his property, including his car, was all taken away from him. What's even worse for him is that his fiancé's parents reported his affair to his boss. He was immediately fired after that, because such an affair would bring down the company's image. As for my cheating wife, since she didn't know that the man was engaged to a woman from a wealthy family, he brought her to luxurious places and gave her expensive gifts. She mistakenly thought that he was rich. That's why she thought that even if I kicked her out of the house, if she went to that man, she'd be taken care of financially and be happy. But when she learned that the man was full of debt, she left him immediately and ran back to me.
"I'm sorry. I was wrong. I will apologize, so please, think twice about getting a divorce."
She begged me to change my mind about the divorce. However, I already signed the divorce paper and submitted it to the city office, so it's useless. We're over now. I don't plan on changing my mind at all, anyway. Then, when I demanded a huge amount of alimony from her, she went pale and ran out the door. But of course, she could run, but she couldn't hide. I contacted my parents-in-law to inform them about what happened. Then they told me that they forced her daughter to work for a certain delivery company. Work there was apparently very draining, and while it wasn't a toxic workplace, the work to be done was apparently quite difficult, so it was known for having most of its employees walk out. That company's apparently where my parents-in-law forced her to work. The company always needs more workers, because for some reason, they had several major walkouts. That's why she was hired immediately. I guess it was a win-win situation for both the company and her parents. but not for her. Well, it seems like she's receiving quite a high salary, because it's quite stressful and they're always busy. She works all day and all night. Even when she goes back to her parents' home, all she does is sleep until she has to go to work again. However, she sends me a huge amount every month as payment for the alimony. She's probably having a very difficult time because she has to pay me monthly. But I don't mind, and I don't care. She won't be able to be liberated from that hell of a place until she pays back the debt that she owes me. Both my ex-wife and that man are now facing the consequences of their actions. After that, the fiancé's parents came to thank me personally. I don't know exactly why, but I was happy. They then told me that thanks to me, their daughter didn't end up marrying that bastard. Of course, ideally, I don't want to get a divorce, and it would be 1,000 times better if I didn't get cheated on. The parents' concern for their daughter brought to light the affair and exposed them. So I should probably be the one thanking them. Thank you so much for watching. What did you think of this video? If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.